Objected to this issue or that issue. Nobody did this unilaterally. We've done this in a bipartisan fashion, and frankly, it's a good bill.
Well, that from House Speaker John Boehner this week, trying to get enough votes to pass the $1.1 trillion budget bill in the House. And on Thursday, he managed to barely get enough votes to make that happen. That said, 67 Republicans voting against that bill, along with 139 Democrats. Now, many of the Republicans voting no are upset over the bill's provisions to fund the president's executive orders to protect thousands of undocumented immigrants from deportation. Some are saying this early rift within the GOP may be a sign of what may lie ahead when the Republican supermajority takes control in January. Joining us now, Congressman Peter Roskam, a Republican who actually backed Boehner's budget deal in the House with a yes vote. Welcome, sir. Great to have you here today.
Hey, great to be with you. Thanks very much.
Tell us why you voted to go ahead with the spending bill when many of your GOP colleagues are crying foul, saying this bill does nothing to stop the funding for the president's executive orders on immigration. You know, many polls, including one from Fox News that we're showing to our viewers right now, clearly indicates that a majority of American voters disapprove of the president bypassing Congress to change how the government deals with illegal immigration. A whopping 60% don't like it.
So the question is, those voters want to win. Those voters actually want to stop President Obama. So the smart move here is to set up this fight when you've got more Republicans and more conservatives, and they're coming over the hilltop in January. So this sets that up nicely to have that conflict then. We're not going to win that fight right now with divided government and Harry Reid still having the gavel as the majority leader, but we're going to be able to shift that fight. There's some other important things in that bill. It cuts over $300 million from the Internal Revenue Service, which my constituency really wants to see us going after the IRS. It also requires President Obama in a new way to report to Congress whatever progress he's claiming on Iran sanctions, something that he hasn't done in the past. So there's some elements of this that are positive. There's some things in there that are not positive, but on balance, I weighed it out and said it deserved my vote.
Well, even if the Speaker and others like you want to wait to confront the funding of the president's executive orders on immigration until the new Republican majority comes into place come January and tackles immigration through, for example, the Homeland Security funding deadline in March, lots of conservatives are saying it will be difficult to do that because lots of money will already have been spent to move ahead with the president's amnesty program. What are your thoughts about this?
I don't think that's necessarily persuasive. I think you're going to be in a much stronger position with more United States senators who are like-minded and with a larger House Republican majority that is similarly like-minded. Go back just a year ago to the discussions about repealing Obamacare by shutting the government down. That was a strategy that didn't work, and basically the proponents of that had to limp off the stage and admit that it was a failure. So now we've got a situation where we can tactically be smarter in the long run and actually do everything that we can to push back on the president. It's waiting, it's being strategic, but it's the smarter move.
Well, many conservatives are saying that they are ending this year frustrated at their own party's leaders who they feel cut them out of the funding process. What do you say about this? And if that's true, isn't that counterproductive, leaving them out?
Look, party leadership has to be very careful right now, and if members are feeling isolated and not included, that doesn't portend well for trying to bring people together. And there's an expectation that some of these roll calls were actually going to be fairly easy. They're not easy. It's a difficult thing to put together. So I think party leaders all the way around need to listen carefully to what their members are saying being communicated to them through their constituents.
Well, does this signal signs that there's going to be some heated tug of wars within the party between the conservative and moderate wings next year?
Look, there's always going to be heated tugs of wars. That's the nature of a democracy. And I think there's heated tugs of war on the Democratic side. You had Nancy Pelosi, who is in a split with a number of her members. She was actively working against President Obama and working against this bill, for example. Elizabeth Warren was actually staking out new ground, which is, I think, a foreshadowing of some of the difficulties that Hillary Clinton may be beginning to experience when everybody thought that her pathway to the nomination on the Democratic side for president were just a walk in the park. It's clearly, we're reflecting a country that's deeply divided on core issues and also divided on tactics and strategy. But here's the good news. We as Americans managed to sort this out, and we managed to move ever so slowly in the right direction. And the country has responded by electing more conservatives to the House and the Senate, and I think you're going to see more conservative solutions end up on President Obama's desk in the next Congress.
All right, we shall see what lies ahead. Certainly the public has let it be known how it feels about the issues right now and the problems that Congress has been facing passing some of these bills. So we wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.